My name is Valerie Hill. Most everybody calls me Val. I was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and for the first 10 years of my life, that's pretty much where I was raised. My parents, they were married the first 4 years of my life. Then, yes, they divorced. We wound up staying with our mom, and she remarried. It was a very abusive relationship for my brother and I. We would go to church on Sundays. That would be the day we got off from getting hit or being abused. For me, when I would go to church and then I would look at the pictures on the wall, it was always Jesus sitting like on a rock or something and all the children running to him. That was really confusing for me, and I never felt him there with me. I couldn't understand why he was allowing it. When she realized with her husband, who was doing all the physical abuse to my brother and I, what was going on, she did divorce him, and then she met another man. They were together for 18 months, and he did eventually move in with us. And during those 18 months, that's when it became very physical, and sexual abuse started. I started fighting him off, and that's when he started pulling out his gun on me and threatening me with his gun, saying, "If you tell anybody, I'll kill you and your mother." In January of '86, it just got to be to the point where I couldn't handle it anymore, and he was in the room and she was in the living room too, and I just went in and told her, Joe's been doing, not really good things to me, and she wanted to know exactly what it was, and I told her, and it was like she just went into shock. After having to go through that with two different men with her, and her not really grasping what was going on and not protecting me or not defending me and my brother, I just looked at Joe and I was like, well, why don't you just kill her if you're going to kill somebody? Within a week, he did it. He killed her. My first suicide attempt was probably 11, and that's when, I asked my aunt and uncle if I could come live with them, because I was like, this is probably going to be the last time you ever see me. After high school, I decided to join the Air Force, the military. My first assignment was overseas in Japan, and the drinking age was 20 over there, and I was already 20, so that's how I escaped. I hadn't told anybody that I gave someone permission to kill my own mother. So it turned into drugs, alcohol, and sex to escape. I was doing a homeless outreach ministry. It was probably first part of October of 2017. I learned about this 3-day weekend called Tres Dias, and it was basically an encounter with God. One of my friends who also was volunteering, he was talking to another lady about it. I knew church, I knew God, I was just so angry. A day or two later, someone had called me, one of my sister's mutual friends, and she had gone through it. And she had told several of our mutual friends that Valerie would never do something like this. So, kind of being dared, I called my friend back up and was like, sign me up. The experience at Tres Dias was, it was an encounter with Christ. The women there and the spiritual directors who were there, it was like I seen Jesus in their eyes and in their hands, and it was like unconditional love that I had been begging for, since she died. There were a couple of the ladies there who had been through this program called Regeneration, and They were like, this would be a great program for you to start your walk with. In Regen, people introduce themselves by saying, my name is so-and-so and I have a new life in Christ. I remember telling my mentor, I will never say that because I don't believe it. You could pay me $100 right here, right now, and I still won't say it. I went in there with so much shame, guilt, anger, hatred. I probably hated God more than I hated the men who did the things they did to me. To be able to, forgive these men, to forgive my mom, to work on forgiving myself. It's like chains were being broken, literally. He now has rescued me. God now has protected me, defended me, and I don't need to escape because I can escape to him. I don't need to escape to drugs, sex, and alcohol. My name is Valerie Hill. Most everybody calls me Val, and I have a new life in Christ.